You sent me this one. RFK Jr. goes nuclear over LA's homeless agency as feds threaten to cut off $240 million.
Yeah, that's the LA Homeless Association that is being funded by the feds through NGOs, where I said last week the woman running it was making $1.6 million a year and living in Honolulu in a high-rise building, and another one that she bought for her mother, not even living, and I'm not talking about second house. She's not even living in the state of California, this bitch. And he is, a judge has stopped this, a Biden judge, by the way, or Obama judge this morning. This is from August 11th. This morning stopped them in the critocracy from running the government itself. In other words, the judges actually run the government. The judges will do whatever the judges want to do, and they are unelected, deep state, bureaucratic officials who actually run the country.
Love it.
But he did order under HHS the suspension of pouring money into this corrupt, bottomless pit.
It's gotten so insane anymore. It's like any policy that is ever created, they almost just need to have the legal team have the pre-filed motion right on hand. Like, it's like,
not only that,
announce a policy, wait for the stupid judge somewhere from saying something, and then file the damn appeal. It's like you
can't run a government like this on either political party. You cannot run a country like this, regardless of the issues. You can't have a judge stopping the president every 6 minutes, or the Congress, or anything else. Why don't they just admit it's a critocracy and call it a day? It worked for the Irish in the 5th century. It goes back to biblical times. There are many cultures that had critocracies. Just admit what it is. We are a critocracy, and debate that, but not identifying the problem doesn't help.
Yeah, you know what? I forgot where I heard it, because this has been going on now for a while, with Trump. It would be an interesting exercise, because I believe constitutionally speaking, only one person is required, and that's right, Roberts, technically.
Yeah.
But you could go further and just say, you know what? We're going to eliminate all federal judges except for the Supreme Court.
It's something I would support.
Make them scramble all over the place. That would be an interesting thing to see if it could be done. Okay, now, while we're talking about Biden and his taste in judges and then things like that, here's the perfect headline. Extremism expert hailed as terrific by ex-Biden official slapped with federal charges.
Oh, boy. She's great.
If you don't know who Heidi Beirich is, you actually do, because she leads the Southern Poverty Law Center's intelligence project.
Well, the intelligence division.
Publishes the award-winning intelligence report and
great report.
Hate Watch blog.
Right.
They're the folks who put together the map of all hate groups.
That was helpful. I remember that.
That's map. Heidi's team. Mm-hmm. And
right on.
They also are kind of the leading organization that identifies
she was living
what
with a Nazi.
Exactly.
So she is really probably the nation's foremost.
Keep an eye on it.
Well, yeah. How do you recognize it?
She was banging a Nazi, the head of the Southern Poverty Law Center. That's above and beyond her job description. It doesn't say bang a Nazi.
But it got to gather intelligence somehow, Mark. So
I think she was paying him a lot of money too while banging him.
Oh, well, yeah. Yeah.
She's
not going to just live with somebody somewhere. No. It's got to be
for that fat blimp. The Nazi is probably the greatest sex she ever had in her life.
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably.
No, he may have been in great shape as a Nazi. He might have been Aryan. Who knows? He might have been working out. And she now, can get intelligence out of him going undercover.
You know what she reminds me of? Using that same theory. Those female prison guards that help the inmates escape?
Oh, yeah, very true. Very true.
I'm sorry.
By the way, there were multiple arrests of city mayors today by the FBI that I don't know if you've got that story, but the mayor of Oakland was arrested, and the mayor of, I think it's Lawrence, Massachusetts was arrested. all for corruption. And I pray to God they come for Karen Bass at some point, because yet another LA city councilman is going to prison. I think this is the fourth one. And the feds are just doing a bang-up job going after urban Democratic corruption. And you got to tip your hat to the head of the FBI for doing this. I don't hear many people congratulating him. This is the cat out of Lawrence, Massachusetts. He was taken down for stealing all the pandemic loan money and using it for his campaign. FBI got him this morning, and then the head of the Mongs, the head of the Mongs up in Oakland was arrested because she was involved with a sanitation carding scam, pay for play, and they took her down with her belongings today up in Oakland, one of the most corrupt cities in American history. So that's two today.
Didn't they arrest another one in Oakland, or is this the same one? Because I know
this is the same one. This is the same one. She was kicked out of office. And then this 90-year-old black woman took over temporarily. The feds are also going after the dog killers on Skid Row because the state and city refused to do anything, using them as testing pincushions for fentanyl. The Fed is now moving in to take the pets and dogs away from the homeless.
Apparently, a individual who just won his primary is known as quote unquote slaughterhouse. Abdul El-Sayed's sickening dog euthanasia scandal resurfaces.
Yeah, as head of the medical community in Detroit, he was the head. His doctor comes from a PhD in Marxist urban planning, but he also oversaw Detroit Animal Care and Control from his position as medical supervisor of the city of Detroit. And Detroit statistically has the highest number of killed dogs in their pound of any city in the country. That he oversaw this, and nobody hates dogs more than him and his relatives.
Yep. To be specific on that, Best Friends Animal Society reported that Detroit Animal Care and Control saved just 20% of animals in 2015. State data placed the live release rate at 26%, according to the Daily Mail. That year, the agency euthanized 1,988 dogs and 272 cats for a total of 2,260 animals.
Yeah, and let me tell you something. Despite their treatment of women, despite their forcing them to wear burqas, despite them being allowed to beat their wives, despite all of the things that feminist and women leaders in this country refuse to call out the Muslim community on, the dog issue may be the straw that finally breaks the camel's back as to not being part of Western society. This dog issue and their hatred of dogs may simply be, finally, oddly enough, a bridge too far for American people to deal with.
I agree. Well, more specifically, because the people who coddle them, or anyone, are leftists, and there are a lot of leftists, aka liberals, who love pets. Very famously, they like pets more than people. So if you have people who prefer dogs over people, then this is a bridge too far for them, and that can cut into their base.
What we uncovered was that 5 of the sticks had the audit log downloaded and not the results. It's a human error. These things can happen.
Give me the human's name.
So
give me the human's
what
name.
What we need to do is go back to the operations center, and we're going to download out of those 5 machines the results and make sure that's not the audit log. So we have the reports printed from the first download. We're going to reprint and start the process so that we can compare those results. We invite you to come join us.
Yeah.
The police department will come with us too.
Tell us the name of the person who did it.
And then send them back here to be uploaded.
Look, the point of the matter is Tiffany is in for a rude awakening if he thinks they're not going to do this out of the upcoming race for governor. because they did it against, there was all kinds of spin saying the Democrats have decided that Hung was too far left. And the black guy out of Milwaukee is just as far left. He's just not as stupid saying shit like she did. He's completely retarded as well. But the corruption
Crowley, by the way, David Crowley,
I'm sorry. The corruption out of Milwaukee is not going to stop simply because Hung has been eliminated.
Yeah, sadly, the Republicans wanted Hung.
Yeah.
The fact that Hung made it, odds were very good that they would have the first Republican governor since, I think, Scott. I forget his last name. Yeah. Somebody will remind me.
Yeah.
Guy ran for president forever.
Nevertheless, they're up against the Black Democratic machine in Detroit. And that is going to be Detroit and Milwaukee in these two particular races. And they have to wait out their vote count tally turn-ins and wait out these two major cities, because this is the game. Walker, thanks, man. This is the game, to wait out these red counties and then trump them by a couple of thousand votes. And I don't know how stupid the Republicans are and how many times this has to happen to them before they realize that LBJ did this in 1948. That's how fucking retarded the Republicans are. They still don't get it. Hundreds and hundreds of losses by urban vote dumps after their final tally, and these schmucks cannot seem to get the intelligence to withhold their final tallies until the cities are done. It's startlingly the most stupid thing I've ever seen in American politics.